Hello my loves, welcome to my brand new BookTube channel. So, some of you may know me from my diamond painting channel, Diamond Painting with AbigailMarie. This one is called Books with AbigailMarie. So I figured that for today's video I would start us off with a classic, which is the Booktube Newbie Tag. So, I have the tag questions right here and my viewfinder is right there, so if you're wondering, that's what's happening. And then as far as my background, this is sort of my background for diamond painting. I do have a bookshelf, but it's a little messy and I would really like to straighten it up before I went ahead and started filming in front of it. Not that this is necessarily super clean, but I digress. So this is sort of a new experience for me because on my diamond painting channel, it's mostly my hands. You're mostly seeing what I'm doing with my hands, less of my face. But I actually just filmed a video for my diamond painting channel in which my face was in it. So my makeup was already done. So I figured I would take this opportunity to get a few sort of booktube videos filmed as well. I actually just hit 1,000 subscribers on my diamond painting YouTube channel, so I'm super excited about that. So I guess I will go ahead and start with the booktube tag questions. A little bit about myself. My name is Abigail, if you hadn't guessed. I am 27. I just turned 27. I'm a little outside of my comfort zone here because I have been watching BookTube since 2012. I really started to get into reading when I was pregnant with my son. So my son is actually 8 years old, and I really got back into reading, I should say. I've always been a reader my whole life. I don't want to talk too much just in case. I'm actually going to save it because it looks like that's one of the tag questions. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the tag questions. So why did I start this channel? I have always wanted to start a booktube channel, but I never felt confident enough. And so the diamond painting community is super niche, and I figured if I can do diamond painting YouTube and I can be a fairly successful diamond painting YouTuber, I would go ahead and then try my hand at a booktube channel because I have been watching from the early days. So I have been watching from the very, very beginning of BookTube. I've been a passive watcher and not really commenting, sort of just taking it in, okay? Let's see. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? Well, I'm myself 100% of the time. And if you stick around, you'll see that I am never not myself, and I think I'm fun occasionally. Maybe. And I'm also pretty unique, I think. What are you most excited for about this new channel? Well, I am hoping to get back into reading. So a little bit here, little tidbit. In 2019, I actually read 129 books. I wish I would have started my YouTube channel for BookTube back then. I really wish. Actually, that's not true. I wish I would have started when I first started watching BookTube. I wish I would have had the confidence in myself to start then. I've made many mistakes, and that's definitely one of them. I wish I would have started then. Let's see. Why do you love reading? Is that a trick question? Like, what don't I love about reading? It's an escape. So I suffer from anxiety and depression, like I'm sure many of you. And so when I'm reading, I'm not necessarily thinking about the things that I'm dealing with. I'm really into that book. I'm into whatever is happening there. And it's the same concept for diamond painting. It helps to relieve my anxiety and depression. So that is, if you have not heard of diamond painting, I will leave a link to my diamond painting YouTube channel in the description box so that you can check it out. It might be something that you might want to do because I know that there's a lot of crossover actually. There's a ton of crossover between the diamond painting and the booktube community actually. Or not necessarily booktube, but like a lot of diamond painters read and a lot of readers diamond paint. So there's plenty of crossover. And a lot of times you have your hands going while you're diamond painting, but your mind can still wander. So I know personally, I will listen to audiobooks, I'll watch TV or something like that. But if you're an avid audiobook reader and you're looking for something to do while you're reading the audiobooks, definitely check out diamond painting. So it helps with my anxiety, to circle back, it helps with my anxiety and depression, and it really helps me to sort of get grounded, I guess. You know, get back to what is important and what is not. And right now, in the midst of a global pandemic, what's not important is literally everything but your mental health right now. Let's see. So, what book or series got you into reading? Initially, I loved The Magic Tree House as a child. Goosebumps, fantastic. As we're getting into the young adult age bracket, obviously Harry Potter, for sure. Twilight, those are books that I read before I was pregnant, and then what actually initially re-jump started my love for reading was reading The Hunger Games in 2012 while I was pregnant. The last book had just come out at this time, and I had plenty of time on my hands because I wasn't working. So I started reading again. I read plenty of the Walking Dead comic books while I was pregnant, which is probably not the best idea. Like, you're already having feverish nightmare dreams from being pregnant. Let's add walkers into it. But I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. And then after my son was born, I wasn't sleeping, okay? As many new parents don't. I wasn't sleeping. So I spent a lot of my time reading while he was sleeping. He was one of those babies that needed to be near you, so I would sort of have him in the crook of my arm, and I would be reading with the other hand. So that is sort of what got me back into reading. And then I've taken breaks. I actually I've only read one book since 2019, but 2020 was a scrap of a year. That doesn't even count. You know, we're just wiping that one away, right? Let's see. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Do you have any recommendations for balancing? Because I am the type of person who is 100% all in or absolutely not at all. Just bottom line, I am all or nothing. So do you have any recommendations for balancing? And that can be seen pretty clearly on my diamond painting YouTube channel as well. I am 100 or 0. There's no in between. So I guess my question would be, how do you balance reading as a hobby and still find time for other hobbies? That would be my biggest question. Because I'm looking to get back into reading. That's kind of sort of why I'm starting this channel, which I think was a question already. I'm trying to get myself back into reading, I guess. I love reading, but I have spent the last 8 or so, I think it's been 10 maybe. I've spent the better part of the last year introducing myself and getting into the diamond painting world. So now I'm ready to be into that world and have my initial passion, which was reading, back into my life. And that's something that's very important to me. I have made it a primary focus in my life. Like, if you could see the mess of my bookshelf, it's in the living room sitting right there, like I'm looking right at it. But I have made reading a primary focus in my life, so much so that my son has picked up the hobby and he is reading like crazy. Like, he's reading at a 4th grade level and he's in 2nd grade. So if that is sort of any indication as to how much reading has influenced my life, even if I haven't been doing it lately, my son would be a shining example of that. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Goes right back into that last question. Having the hobby of diamond painting and sort of having the time for everything else has started to become a struggle. And when I was reading those 129 books in 2019, books were my primary focus, and balance wasn't really there. So I think balance is something that I struggle with a lot. If you're coming from my diamond painting YouTube channel into my BookTube channel, you know that I am trying to give myself grace this year. And along with grace comes balance. I need to learn to balance and prioritize. Yes, these things are important, but I want to be a well-rounded person, and that includes having a hobby, but I can also have other hobbies. So that is going to be my biggest challenge, and it's always been my biggest challenge, is finding balance. And while I can choose to prioritize one thing, I shouldn't forget about everything else. You know what I mean? That's going to be my biggest challenge. When did you start reading? I don't really have an answer for that. I've always read. I take breaks like last year, but I've always read. My whole life I've been a reader. I remember my mom got all the little critter books, and I would sit there and read them for hours, and all of the Dr. Seuss and all of the Disney books. And then I got into Judy Blume, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Things like that. Of course, the Mary-Kate and Ashley mysteries. Like, where would we be in life if we did not have the Mary-Kate and Ashley mysteries? Like, riddle me this. Where do I read? So in 2019, I spent a lot of my time reading at work. So I'll get into it in a later video. If you have questions, you can definitely absolutely leave them in the comment section, and I invite you to do so. But I read a lot at work, and I read a lot in my bed. I don't really read anywhere in between. It's either bed or work. Let's see. What kinds of books do you like to read? Okay, so this is the last question, so I'll set my phone down so that I can continue to talk with my hands like a crazy person like I do. I like to read everything. I'm not the biggest fan of certain genres, like for example, historical fiction is not my favorite. But if you mix in an element of flashbacks, like so if you have the historical fiction of, oh my god, okay, so for example, oh god, what were those books called? It was the Why We Left Cuba books. I loved those. So we had the grandmother who was living in Cuba at the time of, you know, everything that was happening. And then you had the flash forward of the granddaughter sort of going back to Cuba, and we're living the same story and the same thing through two different timelines. I love that. I also really, really, really loved, oh god, the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Phenomenal book, absolutely phenomenal. I like a little bit of some scary books, a little bit of horror here and there, sprinkled in between my love for, I do like my romances occasionally. I like them raunchy. I love mystery. I love anything mystery. I am starting to get to a point where I'm having a harder time with fantasy. But I do go through moods. I go through moods where all I want to consume is mystery, all I want to consume is romance, and then I do have times where I really just, I want a book with dragons. And then as far as what age genre do I, or what age group do I read in, I read into middle grade. Definitely will read my Harry Potter books with my son. I have the illustrated versions. I have been into the young adult age group and also adult. And then as far as, you know, what sort of medias do I consume, I always prefer to turn pages. I am a purist in that sense. I definitely love to turn pages, but I will read it on my phone, on a Kindle or whatever, and I do not mind also reading or listening. As far as books versus comic books, I have read comic books and I have read graphic novels and stuff like that, and they go by super quick, so I do love them because they get that count up higher. But I love a novel. If we're talking about content though, I love myself some morally gray characters who do things, wrong things for all the right reasons. And also I do love a unreliable narrator. If I can't trust you as a narrator, I kind of like you. In person, in real life, if I can't trust you, I don't want anything to do with you. But if you are a unreliable narrator in a book, oh my goodness. Let's see, what else, what other types of cliches or weird things do I like? I like unreliable narrators. I like friend to family. I love friend to family. So if you're thinking to yourself, wow, Abigail, you pretty much completely described Six of Crows. Did you know that? So a cast of characters for morally gray reasons and some unreliable aspects. You would be 100% right. That was a phenomenal book. I loved every second of it. I think I am caught up in that series. I could be wrong. I don't know if anything came out for that one last year. And if it did, well then obviously I haven't read it because I didn't read anything last year. I sucked. Actually, that's not true. That is not true. I did read one book last year. I read Riley Sager. I read Riley Sager's most recent book, Be Home Before Dark, and that was, I actually read it on YouTube. I read it as a little bit of a book club for my diamond painting channel. So that was super, super fun. I did that more significantly way earlier on. I did that way earlier on in my diamond painting channel, and I haven't read a book since. However, I have a phenomenal friend whose name is Elizabeth, and we intend to do a little bit of a true crime book club for diamond painting. So I actually have to figure out what I'm gonna do for that. We have a plan, but we have to initiate it. That is gonna be it for today's video. I am gonna go ahead and use my same intro from my diamond painting YouTube channel, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it here, and this way we'll have consistency, because consistency is key. Okay, so I hope that you liked this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you like me and would like to see more from me, please hit subscribe. I would be so happy to have you. Alright guys, I hope that you are being safe, washing your hands, and taking care of yourselves. Bye guys.